once again, Efezino, for honoring our invitation to
Thank you for having me.
this conversation. So your powerful voice is one of a kind, and if it instills joy and soothing peace within. How you combine art with amazing personality makes you even more beautiful. Can you please
Aw.
share some highlights on how you began your creative journey as a singer and songwriter?
Thank you so much. um, I started singing when I was like maybe 8 or 9 years old. When I was 8 or 9 years old, I joined my church choir, and like I grew up in a very musical home. My dad used to be a musician back in the 70s and 80s. All my siblings grew up in the choir, including my parents too. So my dad used to play the guitar and in law school in Lagos. So I wrote my first song when I was 12, and that was when I started like going for concerts. My older brother used to take me for like shows back at home in Delta State. And as a teenager, I think I was 16 years old when I took part of my first singing competition, Who Sings Best, and I
Wow.
won. Yeah. And then when Nigerian Idol came to Nigeria, not West African Idol, that was Timi Dakolo's. This one was Nigerian Idol.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was part of the first season. I got to top 100. I went for the third season. Then I was in
Wow.
uni and I got to top 6. And so I went back to school, finished. I have a BS in human anatomy. And when I finished, I moved to Lagos, and then I decided to apply, go for The Voice. I was part of the first The Voice, the Chike set briefly, but I lost my voice. I had a cold, so I couldn't scale through for this. Next season, I went again and tried, and then I got to the live shows. I think that was the semifinals in South Africa, and it was amazing. And just before then, I was with my former label, owned by Oscar Hemanaka, Soul Tracker Music Group. And after we came from The Voice, I did like some covers with Rude Boy, Adekunle Gold,
Yeah.
uh, and Files. And then I put out, we did Amiri, Shot Amiri, and it took a while for people back at home to really appreciate and like the song, but I think it took like maybe from 6 months to a year, and then people still started like feeling it, and now it's like everywhere now. And I had to do into 2019, I had to do it in Swahili, French, Pidgin, and then in an EP, put it out, and then apparently it blew up in the Oceania region, Polynesian Islands, where you have Fiji, New Zealand, and all those other countries. And I didn't know. So a fan reached out to me and was like, hey, your song is popping up on TikTok in these places. I was like, what? And then I went on TikTok. I was like, wow, what's going on? Then this young producer reached out that he was still like trying to work on a Siren remix. And the original was popping there, but his friend danced to it and then people loved it. And I was like, can we put it out? I was like, yeah, sure. And then I sent him my vocals. And so like there are two versions that have been trending on their top 60, yeah, over there for like some months now. Like I just kept seeing videos. It has like the original has like almost 40,000 videos on TikTok, and I'm like, what? They made a dance out of it. It's trending on their radios, and I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Power of music is pretty dope. So that's my part of my journey. Oh, and also I'm on tour currently with Simi in the United States of America. And it's been crazy. Like we just finished the first leg now. I'm still a bit tired. Tomorrow is the next one, the next leg. And but it's been really fun. It's been amazing. I've been able to meet my fans in America and also meet more fans, like new people that didn't even really know me before. And I'm really blessed and thankful for the opportunity to be able to reach people here, those that have been following me for years since Idols, The Voice, and make new people, meet new friends also. So I'm just really thankful for everything.
All right. Thank you, Efezino, and I wish you the best of experiences in your tour, and
Thank
We
you.
hope you have a fun time.
Thank you.
So you have so many wonderful experiences. So your first song, can you take us through what inspired your first song?
Okay, yeah. So I grew up listening to a lot of jazz music, new age, Yanni, Celtic music, and
Yanni, yeah.
yeah, and some Celtic musicians I don't even really remember. I grew up listening to Yolanda Adams, the Yellow Jackets. So I wrote my first song to a jazz piece by the Yellow Jackets, the South African group. And like we used to have like stacks of CDs. My brother used to buy lots of CDs. So I had this like 5 loader deck. So I listened to a lot of jazz music, and I wrote my song to track 12 of one of their albums. I'm trying to remember the name of the album. I don't remember. And yeah, and then I sang it in this concert, and as I started, I just kept writing and writing and going from concerts to weddings and until school had to come first.
So
Yeah.
good, so good. Yeah. So we are grateful to have you on board this issue with the theme, The Art of Christmas. You celebrate Christmas. And what's your memorable moment yet in the Christmas season?
Well, I didn't really grow up celebrating Christmas a lot because I'm from a Christian home, but my church didn't really celebrate Christmas the way Catholics and other churches do. So like all we because we didn't they didn't take it like do a service about it in church and like do plant a Christmas tree. So all we used to do, and my dad is also a pastor, so well, my dad, we celebrated it at home, but we never did the church never did the whole like come to service and celebrate Christmas with the tree. What we used to do was like cook food, open our doors. I will never forget the amount of fried rice and chicken. I used to wait for the fried rice.
Wow.
That's special. Used to have like a special scent aroma, and then there'll be banga soup, there'll be starch. Cousins will come, the house will be full. So most of my like fond memories, if we were not spending it with my grandparents, my maternal grandparents, people then cousins are coming. So I grew up spending a lot of time with my grandparents, and God rest their soul. And
Man.
so yeah, it was always fun. And then once we're done eating in the house, the next door, you go there too.
Typical, yeah.
Yeah, there's more, there's all, and or if we're not going, the neighbors are bringing, and well, so
Right.
like exchange of dishes from house to house, house to house. I used to eat until I would fall sick from eating. So it was always really fun, really fun.
So what was like your favorite food during Christmas? So is it the rice or the chicken or the turkey? Which one would you choose?
Both,
Both.
both. It can't come separately. It's together
Yeah.
with some
Yeah.
very
Okay.
chilled Fanta as a kid.
All right. So this question leads us to the next question. So can you give
Okay.
us a sneak peek on how growing up was like for you, the experiences you had growing up, your neighborhood, your
Yeah.
environment, what was it like?
So I grew up in a very calm neighborhood. Like I was like a reserved child, so I never really used to like go out much. The only time people would see me is if I'm riding my bicycle, me and my younger brother, like around the street and back. And then I won't forget my dad would or my older brother would drive us to the pool. So there's this pool in NNPC back at home in Delta State. My friends, we all kind of learned how to swim. I almost drowned, so it took me a while.
Thank God you didn't. You would have
Yeah,
been an amazing voice.
I almost drowned and it kind of almost scarred me for life. But like
Oh,
almost every weekend, we used to go to the pool with our friends and all their parents would come carry us to the pool. So, but my parents have always been supportive of my career, like singing. And my mom calls me Maria. She called me Maria from Sound of Music as a kid, because like
oh,
I'm always singing and disturbing the house, running around, jumping, watching idols on TV before the voice came, and like watching Fashion Police and watching all E News and the rest. So growing up was really fun. Cartoon Network was one of my favorite channels. So
it's watch cartoons.
Bravo and Powerpuff Girls, Samurai Jack.
You
So
used to watch cartoons still now.
yeah, sometimes. Well, now Cartoon Network has ended after 30 years. Imagine.
Okay. Oh, there's Nickelodeon.
Only go there. Like, I mean, I love Nickelodeon. See, they are separate. They have separate places in my heart. Nickelodeon was for me one of my favorite shows. Then was Zoe 101, and
Okay.
Big Time
Yeah.
came. But Cartoon Network was like really special. So I grew from Cartoon Network to Nickelodeon.
So
But I
Bravo, Samurai Jack and cool. Yeah, I know, right?
Courage the Cowardly Dog. So
Aha!
I mean, come on.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was really interesting and
That's so
fun.
good, so good, so
And then I
good.
have a fun memory of my brother and I. We used to struggle for the remote. I don't know if you ever had that in your household. I know it's time for my show.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
such now and then.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So, as an artist, what would you say is your dream life as an artist? Can you
I
describe
just
your fantasy as an artist, what you want it to look like?
well, being an independent artist is not always very easy because you have to work, save money. I'm a full-time musician, and then
Yeah.
you have to promote yourself. You have to use connections to put your song out, and like a lot of work. So, for me, I just want to keep doing what I love, writing and putting out music and having people appreciate it and getting to perform live. That's my dream. Um, that's my dream for being an artist. And when I saw the videos of what one of my songs was doing in a region, a continent that I know nobody in, it
Yeah.
really made me feel fulfilled. Like, okay, yeah, I was meant to do this. I'm doing something right. Sometimes it might not be as fast as people would want it, but like they say, God's time is the best. And I didn't have to push or do anything, and it just organically grew there. So I just want to keep doing what I'm doing, have people support as much as they can, and put out good music, good collaborations, and one day start a family and still do what I'm doing.
Also, family is very important. Yeah, yeah. So your cover songs, from Jerusalem to your recent cover for Buga, it really shows your uniqueness. So would you want to tell us a little bit about your style and, as a creative, describe it to us and I mean what motivates and what inspires it?
So I feel because I've listened to like a vast amount of, I've consumed a lot of kind of different music genres from, I just even learned the name of some genres of songs I used to listen to as a kid. I just used to, so there's this thing my younger brother and I used to do. We watch an interesting movie, and once we like the song, we knew of Adele before she became Adele. We'll go on Google. Then there was no Shazam. So we'll keep rewinding it, type out the lyrics and find the song. And then we
I'm
had this
guilty of that too. Okay.
exactly. We had this tiny iPod my sister gave us when we were kids,
Yeah.
and we'll go find it, and then we'll download it, put it inside, and then later I got a bigger one. And so I listened to a lot of Celtic music, jazz, new age, pop. Britney Spears was one of my favorite. Then, um, before Afrobeat was even Afrobeat, like so, I feel like it kind of molded my style. And because I grew up in a Amisoko from Delta State, my mom used to have like this cassette of traditional songs too. And like if you're walking on the street, you hear songs in Ishekiri, Ijo, all these different languages in Delta State. So it
Yeah.
all formed the foundation for me as a musician. And at the onset of when I dropped Amiri, my first single, the team wanted to portray the South culture, like to try to not just portray just my tribe, even the whole South culture. And I'm a very, very proud Deltan. Yeah, I'm a very proud Southerner. That's why, like, I don't like when people call me Iffy or Zeno. No, call the full name. Like Mark
Is it?
Zuckerberg will not change his name. You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Abrahimovich, all these people, you call them their name. Your name is very important. Names are very important to me. It tells you who you are, your heritage, your culture. So we wanted to portray the culture from the south of Nigeria. That's why we went hardcore on the style and delivery. And it shocks me that till today the song is still blowing and popping. I'm like, thank you, God. So, but I'm actually looking forward. My next project, I have um other stuff, and like I have like a whole body of work with different genres. So you can say my genre of music is like combination of Afro pop, soul, country, contemporary. Um, like I told you, the new genre I just learned of, I didn't even know about it. I'll remember and I'll tell
Yeah.
you. But like contemporary pop, Afro pop, soul, R&B. Also, I didn't even know I could do R&B until like, yeah. But when you keep consuming different kind of sounds, to shock you what you come up with when you open
Mm,
your mind or your mouth.
so true. So true. Well done, Effie. Your voice, I must say, is a wonderful one. I mean, I listened to The Voice Nigeria now, you and Danielle, the Away song. It
Yeah.
was so awesome. I loved it.
Fun
Yes.
fact,
Yes.
fun fact, I didn't know
Yeah.
the lyrics to that song. I had to learn it, I think less than a day. And
Wow.
because none of us are Yoruba.
Yes,
So
that's true.
it was a bit tough. So we kept biting our tongue. I had to run around to ask like one of my friends, Arawa, to help teach me. And then we had to make it our own, twist, change it a bit. But it was
Hmm.
fun. It was really fun. It was
It
fun.
looked fun to me. So you're currently in the US, right? With
Yeah,
on tour with
yes,
Simi. So
yes.
in your opinion, do you think the developed countries like maybe the US, the Europe country, different countries and all that have more advantage than developing countries, maybe like Nigeria? In your opinion, what do you think? In terms
In
of
what
music
field?
and creatives, yeah.
Of course. I mean, you have a child. Today you see him like hitting drums on with a stick, and then here they'll be like, oh, let's put him in music school. And then you put them in music school, and then they find that this child has a talent in playing instruments, or they start just holding their toy mic and they're singing like, I think this child like music, or put them in ballet. They just expose them to all different kinds of things. And one day some of them might pick something from there or do something else, maybe in the data analysis world, or become an engineer or a writer, but at least then they have that foundation. There are some doctors here that are mad pianists. Some can play bass guitar, some are like they do all sorts of different things. But back at home, there's so much limitation. I mean, you
Yeah.
grow up in a place where you don't even have very good music teachers. I remember my music teacher back at home in secondary school. The only thing I can remember right now is tone, tone, semitone, music theory. That's all. Like, and then there's no encouragement. There are no
Yeah.
bodies to help encourage a child. I was a very quiet child, like always focused in school and class, but like music had always been my passion, but I didn't really have the environment didn't really encourage me. So I had to go out. Like I had to, as a teenager, I had to go out, like go for competitions. And thank God my dad used to support, but we didn't have the foundation and structure back at home to help encourage me as much as I should. I mean, if I was in a place like America, I was born here, guy, I would have been a multi-instrumentalist. I would have gone to Juilliard. I would have gone to so many of other.
Yeah, Juliet.
Yeah, yeah, I still hope that maybe one day I can maybe do a short course there or like get accepted. Because and there's so many other creatives, not just even in music, in arts, the whole arts department, writers, painters, that it's really difficult. Some then later end up giving up and just getting married and getting a 9 to 5 job. I don't blame them. It's not easy. It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
So I just wish we had enough structure put in place to help encourage children. I feel like now most people like me and you, we have understood that we have to, if we can't wait for the government or like for bodies, we have to at least try. There's YouTube now, internet. So like my niece, she loves puzzles. She loves like to do stuff. So her dad always, right from when she was 3 months old, she couldn't even sit properly. She would fall down. Like my brother would put his laptop in front of her. She was already interested in like computer stuff, data, algorithms as a toddler. So I feel like that's the only advantage we have, and that's the only way we can go. Yeah, but yeah, the people here have it kind of better in that
Yeah,
area.
awesome. That's so true. So true. So, balancing work work time and rest time as a creative can be a bit challenging sometimes, which you all know.
A bit,
So
a
it
lot.
can be really challenging. Okay, I take it back. So challenging. So can you share the tips that works for you or that work for you or what you use to balance these two times so far?
Recently, I learned micro napping. Even if
Sorry?
it's, like, recently, I learned micro napping. Even if it's 10, 20
Okay.
minutes. In the car, I sleep off. On the plane, I sleep off. I used to find it difficult to sleep unless like everyone was quiet, but almost they're not a wait for anybody. So you have to find where, like anywhere, even if I had to learn how to rest, shut my mind, even in a noisy place. And now I'm on tour. Sometimes you can't, like we did Atlanta 2 days ago, performed in Atlanta. We missed our first flights. We got there by 7. The show was for 9. We got already dressed up, performing. After performing, we went back to the airport, like, and stayed there till boarded. So we hadn't slept, we had barely eaten, but as we were going there, I slept in the car, I slept in the plane, I slept like 5, 10 minutes. I just find rest, and then like this 2 days break now, I just have to take time for myself and just stay in bed. Even if I'm on my phone, I know I'm staying in bed and decompress. So you just have to make it work. If not, you break down. I'm talking because saying this because I have broken down before from not
Oh,
resting properly. So I take my rests. I'm still working on it. I'm still a work in progress. Well, it's better than
yes, it's
before.
not a finish line yet. So family time. So how do you make time for family at home? How do
Oh,
you
I call my
get them into the
family
schedule?
almost every day. Speak to my parents almost every day. Yeah,
Awesome.
and Kemi was asking, friend was asking, yeah, oh, like you're really close to your family. I'm like, I don't have a choice. I grew up in we're very tight. Me, my siblings, my dad and mom, my niece. So and immediately I get back to Nigeria, I have to go see them. So like
Oh,
I create enough. I try to talk to them as much as I can, pray together, check up on each other. Yeah.
all right. Okay, so your song, Amiri, which is um State Evergreen, and from the cappella version to the current, remix. So I want to ask, what do you consider the most fulfilling moment right now of the journey as a creative? What can you say? Oh, this was my peak moment. This was it for me. Do you have any moments that flashes to mind as your most fulfilling moment so far?
Yeah, I mean, I've dropped a couple of other songs. I've dropped Authority, I've dropped Lume, I dropped a folk album because of the pressure from fans wanting me to put it all out. I was just like, okay, I'm not going to wait. Let me just put out the folk album. But to me, like I said earlier, having to see people here and far away connect to my songs, dance to them, sing along, even though they don't understand jack of what I'm saying, is the most fulfilling moment. And then being able to come to the United States of America for the first time
Yeah.
and get to experience this one on one, just it's been the most fulfilling moment for me. And then back at home, I was recognized and given an award for Best Female Artist. That was early this year, middle of this year. And I was like, okay, wow, people are paying attention. So I'm just grateful.
Congratulations on that. And many more wins and trophies and awards to you, amen. Amen.
Thank
All right.
you.
So at this point, I want to call on Latifa to take the remnants of the questions. Latifa, are you
What
there?
did
Take
you
it away.
say? What did you say?
I'm
You want
inviting Queen Latifah to take it away.
more?
Okay, so don't know if you can.
Am I about to get in trouble? This set of questions.
Okay,
Hey.
I think uh, mine is
And
still
that's
very bad, so I'll just continue then. I'll just continue. It seems like it's some network challenges still.
Can you
So
hear me?
don't worry, you're in
You?
trouble.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
All right. I don't know. Listening to Efezino's interview, it's reminding me of my days growing up. Cause yeah, I grew up in Warri and the whole Banga, the whole Cartoon Network. I felt like I felt like you were another me, and you've achieved a lot. I can't lie. You've really, really achieved a lot. And they say and economics once said that man's wants are insatiable. So how would to you, what does success mean to you?
To me, I feel like I'm just growing. I'm just moving. Like in life, you have to keep learning. There's this saying I used to watch on CNN growing up where it says, I don't remember the whole line, but it goes like, when you breathe, you live. You keep learning. As you keep learning, you keep moving. That's called living, and you keep growing. So to me, I feel like I'm still growing. I have so much to give, and every other thing I do on the side, music is my number one thing I'm going to do. I feel like that's what I've been called to do in this life. So success to me is, I think I already even answered the question before, but success to me is having people to connect to my music, and it's inspiring someone, making you happy, making you laugh. Like I mentioned earlier, when I saw like people connecting to the song without understanding what I was saying, but like it was bringing so much joy to their hearts, I felt fulfilled. So success to me is not all about all the money in the world. If it's about money, there's so many stuff, so many projects I've done, so many ads that I wasn't even paid for. But I'm not moved by that. What pushes me to keep going is how much I'm inspiring people. Some people send me messages like how much my music is changing their lives or bringing joy to them. And I just feel blessed that I'm doing what I was called to do.
Can you tell us something that we don't know about you?
Hmm. I feel like I'm very open to my fans. They already know I like food. I don't eat so much in quantity, but I like to like eat here, eat here. I like bala soup and starch. Let me think. I can't really drive.
Okay.
I'm a very good driver. So
There's room for learning though.
yeah, I mean I can drive, I'm not a pro. The Lagos road scares me. So and the drivers they scare me. Um but you're looking for something more intense, right? You want me to tell you my secret. I'll not tell you my secret. But okay. I am a very reserved person. So when people reach out to me on social media and like, oh, she replied and I just feel like I owe it to people to communicate, but I don't think a lot of people think, oh, she's like very open, she talks all the time, but they don't understand. They don't know that like I'm a loner sometimes. Like my friends that know me used to complain, you don't come out, like let's go for this event, let's go here, let's go. Like I rather stay indoors, stay in my room or just chill at home, watch some TV, record. So yeah, I guess that's something some people don't really know about me. Yeah.
So
And
you're the home person, yeah?
what?
You're a home person, more
A
or less.
homebody. Yes,
Your
I'm a
homebody.
homebody. Yeah, and
Okay, okay.
I have few friends, but they are good friends. Yeah,
Nice,
that's
nice.
circle.
Keeping the circle
Yeah.
small and friendly and trusting. All right, so let's go a bit poetic. If poetry is a rainbow and you have a choice of one color in that palette, what would that be and why?
Violet, because I think it's beautiful and warm. It's warm, beautiful, and just okay. Back in school, like I feel like if I have a room or something, like if I love lavender, so anything with like with violet in it, any color, it kind of gives me this calm and peace and serenity. So I think like I'll pick violet. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. So the last question, what does art mean to you? This is like asking you to sell yourself over again, but we ask you, what does art mean to you?
Okay, let me summarize this. Like it kind of reminds me of when they used to tell you write an essay and summarize or like write it in two sentences back in school. Um, art to me is expressing myself, speaking from my heart, and trying to convey the message to as many people that will listen.
That's deep.
I hope
Deep.
that
So
answers the question.
heart-to-heart conversation, more or less, like we are doing now. This is art, more or less.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Efezino. It was wonderful having you.